if a duelist is not properly dressed, shirts and pants and shorts and skirts must be worn. Who broke that rule? Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So they recently updated the new Yu-Gi-Oh official rules for tournament play right now, which is currently the remote duels. So let's go and check out some of the cards, as they have actually updated some of the ban lists for some areas in the TCG. Now I do want to mention that this may not apply to some EU areas as well as your part of the world. This is just the one that was recently uploaded on the official Yu-Gi-Oh page's Facebook. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out and see what the heck is different. Now they did actually mention setting up the remote play, and if you don't know how to do that, there is this. You know what I'll probably do? I'll link this also down below because it's like a huge PDF, but basically it shows you how to play remote duels. For those guys that don't know what the heck remote duels are, it's where you get to play Yu-Gi-Oh online by playing with physical cards instead of actually just using, let's say, like Link Evolution, which I think that they should just update that game, and that would make a lot more sense. In fact, if you read the comments on some of the posts, a lot of people are like, dude, just play this, you know, game. Update the game so we don't have to play remote duel and risk a lot of people cheating, because it does definitely go on remote duels. In fact, a lot of the comments are all memeing on Eduardo's side deck. Nonetheless, we're here to check out the rules and kind of just, you know, update you guys on this, because it's a new Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, set of rules that we do have to follow if we do want to play in remote duels. But like I mentioned before, personally for me, remote duels just aren't my thing. I trust nobody when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when it's so easy to cheat. But nonetheless, it tells you like the requirements, and you have to have a suitable. It's like general like stuff, right? Except for, I don't know, that part about the like clothing that who actually went, like, why did they have to make a remote duel rule where you have to wear like pants? Like, who? I want to know who broke that rule and showed off the third leg of Exodia on one of the remote duels, because that had to have happened for them to make the rule. Do you guys remember the new Yu-Gi-Oh rule that says you can't be a smelly Yu-Gi-Oh player? I can't believe that. That's an official rule, by the way. Anyways, so let's go ahead and just check this out. I actually haven't read everything. I'm gonna skim through it and I'll give you guys my reaction, because this was posted on a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh in different forums, and they were just kind of like laughing at some of the things. I'm curious to see what they found funny, but okay, yeah, you have to have enough space for your game cards, and that's like a quiet area. Judge may be required to correct problems if you use poor lighting. I actually heard about a lot of people doing this, and I don't know if, you know, like I said, I don't really play remote duels at all. I've done, back in the day before like Discord, we used to do Skype duels with friends, because this was before like Dueling Network, Dueling Book and stuff like that. But I've heard a lot of people trying to get a bad webcam on purpose so that people can't see your cards, and also laggy webcams so then you could just swap in cards in and out. Or they would do the thing where, let me see, do I have it here? Here's a Yu-Gi-Oh sleeve, where people would basically unsleeve cards. Let me actually show you guys. This is actually pretty important. So like, even if you have your hand shown, right? Like, let's say I have a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards in my hand, right? You know, I'm just gonna use this green card as a reference, because it's actually pretty important. So if all these cards, let's say, were like, they'd have the green back, right? Because you'd obviously sleeve all of your cards. Even if it's in frame, right? Like, I could take this card that's inside the green sleeve, and if I just move it up, right? And like, you know, obviously this way you'll be able to see it, but like, I could just move this up. It still looks like I'm holding my hand perfectly fine, right? I can take the card out of the sleeve, take a completely different card off my table, and sleeve it right back in. And like I said, I would do this obviously where I, you know, wouldn't be showing this, but I would just do something like this. This has been a problem for remote duels for a long time, and I think that it's a difficult task to really fix that, right? Obviously, you just have to go on, you know, the honor system, which, let's be honest, Yu-Gi-Oh players, I don't know. It's partially because of the anime's fault too, let's be honest. They cheat all the time in anime with the locator cards and all these like really weird things that like you'd be able to do in remote duels, which I kind of think is funny and adds extra entertainment value to the game. But anyways, test all of your equipment. Okay, that's like general stuff, right? Your opponent needs to clearly see the positions of your cards. I know a lot of times people would I'm not even kidding, like back in the Yu-Gi-Oh days, people would halfway put things in like in attack or defense position. They kind of like tilt it sideways. It's annoying. Like I said, if you play DevPro or like any of these Yu-Gi-Oh applications, we solve all these problems. Just make an official Yu-Gi-Oh game, and I think people will be so much more happier. But there is an updated ban list that I do gotta go over, which is actually the most important thing, so you make sure you stick at least to the ban list. But I want to see what's so funny about this. Okay, place your camera so your entire field is visible so you can see everything. Okay, that's like normal. Your hands, not revealing the cards in your hand. Again, that's the same thing with when people are putting their hands, you know, in certain angles, and it's just unfortunate that people like to main deck their side deck, and at any point they just side cards in the middle of the duel over here. Lighting can cause glare. Yeah, I mean, why not just play? Playing on an official game would solve literally all these problems, and you have an official game on the Nintendo Switch, which is so perfect. Just update it. It's crazy. Determining columns. Okay, that's pretty like relevant for, you know, certain archetypes. You do need to do this. So before your match begins, your opponent must indicate the left edge of the field, but from there each duelist field spell. Okay, column. Okay, it seems like general stuff over here. Label zones with note cards or tape. What? Are people actually doing this 1, 2, 3? Like they're actually numbering it? That's interesting. It's good, but like I said, in real life, like it's much easier to do this, and it's usually just for certain archetypes. Communicate with your opponent, asking, you know, how. That's fine. Draw face down, but announce your phases. Okay, normal summon, special summon. That's totally like appropriate. Nothing too insane with this. Allow time for lag to catch up. Yeah, that's unfortunate. They even mentioned some of the things that can get you banned for like infractions, and we'll go over that. Keep your hands visible. Yeah, like I said, people were saying that they would lower their FPS on their cam intentionally. If you are fast enough, you could literally swap a card in and out 100% on a laggy webcam, depending on how bad the lag is. Or I've also even seen or heard of people on forums trying to go over ways where basically what they were trying to do is they would have their like cam, they would basically freeze frame it, right? Because if you just pretend to hold your hands perfectly still, right, and your Yu-Gi-Oh hand is there, you basically screen cap that and then have that instantly placed as your webcam, and then you literally just draw extra cards or do whatever, and because it's a picture instead of a real live webcam, you don't know. There's lots of tools to do this. I did some tools with streaming, not for specifically Yu-Gi-Oh at all, but like if you're going AFK, like, you know, I would have like another like image shown to basically have as like a background, but like it's just a real problem when there's so many tools, you know, at people's disposal to do these kinds of things. Like I said, keep your hands full. That doesn't matter. If you have a laggy webcam or you literally basically upload as like a picture as your webcam, you can get around that too. So I don't know, like it's just there's too many problems that I think arise with remote duels in general. I don't know. I feel like this is almost a discussion about remote duels, and you know they could just solve the problems. So keep your deck visible while you're searching. Keep your deck visible while you search. What? People are swapping decks mid-game. Like I said, it's crazy what people will do with this. Avoid outside interference. Don't listen to comments, streaming. They even said you can't stream, apparently. Like, you can get penalized for that, which is something I thought was interesting. So, okay, I actually am curious about this. When shuffling deck, remember to keep the deck face down. Shuffle at an appropriate pace so your opponent can clearly view the shuffle. Pile shuffling followed by riffle shuffling is good randomization. When cutting the deck, ask your opponent how many cards they would like to cut. Counting from the top? You count cards now? What? That's a new rule for me. Like, how many cards you want to cut? You know, when your opponent gets a final cut. How many cards would you like to cut? Okay, I'm gonna count. What? That just opens the door for, I feel like, more cheating. Without changing the order of the cards, count to that number and cut the deck. Do not count the cards one by one, as this changes the order of the shuffle deck. Manipulating the shuffle or cut is unsporting. It's considered cheating if you manipulate or shuffle the deck. Oh, like, how is a person going to verify what you're cutting if you're, like the resolution on most of these cameras is not going to be the greatest. Wow, this is insane. All right, changing control of a card. Yeah, like cards like any of the kaijus. Like, these are more relevant cards. In fact, there's a lot of cards that we'll go over that are completely banned. But anyways, keeping the some blink note cards or empty sleeves. They should be different from the ones in your main or extra deck in case of a control shifts to the opponent's field. Like, you know, like magical hats and stuff like that. That could actually open the doors for a lot of problems too. But anyways, when you take control of one of your opponent's cards, if a card would move from your opponent's hand or deck to the side of the field, use a note card as a placeholder. Okay, write the name of the card on the placeholder. You can place a blink card or a piece of paper inside of a sleeve. Write the with the face of the sleeve with a dry erase pen of the name of the card can be wiped off when the placeholder is no longer needed. Okay. Anyways, avoid using actual Yu-Gi-Oh cards or empty sleeves that match your main or extra deck as placeholders because it could be confusing. Okay, that's totally fine, and that makes sense. You know, if you know you get Gamma Seal, Lava Golem, those are really relevant cards in the meta as well. So the remote duel format and time limit. What is the time limit? So Yu-Gi-Oh TCG remote duel events run the best of 3 format. Okay, what is the time? Okay, so it's 15 minutes and then additional 10 minutes for compensation if it's longer. Duels should still receive time extensions for situations, judge calls, and all that stuff. So more importantly, okay, so we're gonna get into the other other things that will get you banned and potentially get a game loss, infraction, penalty, whatever. So I think that part probably hopefully will be the funny part next. So there's a bunch of cards that were banned. I actually did go over this more recently. Now there is one important card that is banned in some areas but not banned in others, and that card was actually Jack in the Hand. It's not on the newer list right here, as you guys can see. This card actually is relevant. So anyways, it's reveal 3 level 1 monsters with different names from your deck, and then your opponent adds 1 to their hand, you add 1 to your hand, then you shuffle the 3rd into the deck. Obviously that causes a lot of problems with revealing and your opponent adds 1 to their hand. So this card is actually not here, which again, that's a really relevant card for certain decks, right? But a lot of the cards, now these are the cards that are banned. If you're wondering what the effects are, I'm not going to go over every single one of them in full detail, but most of the cards have to do with looking at the top something cards of your opponent's deck, with like Contract of Aquamere, with Dark Scorpion, Trick the Yellow. You get to look at the top card of your opponent's deck, and then you get a return on the top or bottom. This card is obviously not going to be happening. One, no one's playing this card. Two, if you're playing it, you a master troll though. I mean, what are you going to do? Mail them the card, put them in, okay, I'm an accurate Parasite, okay, you're going to receive the card in 2 to 3 business days, and we are going to continue the duel when you shuffle this into the deck. This card is already a problem in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! The reason why is because everyone has different colored sleeves in the first place. It is so incredibly dumb for, like, it's cool in the anime and stuff, but like, it's not a good card at the end of the day, let's be honest here. But it's definitely a troll card nonetheless. Now this card over here, Spiral Gear Drone, is actually another important card because it lets you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and then if you do place them on the top of the deck in any order. I feel like, why is this card gone? Like, this card is like kind of relevant, right? It's on the ban list over here, but this one is troll. I don't even get this one. So Transmission Gear, and I've been memeing on this card for a while. During damage calculation, your opponent battles an opponent's monster. Play rock, paper, and scissors with your opponent, making the loser banish the battling monster. Why is rock, paper, and scissors banned? I understand the top decking, but the fact that rock, paper, and scissors is banned in Yu-Gi-Oh! For remote duels makes no sense to me. I don't know, maybe it's for lag. Ninja Telescope is again like revealing top cards. Again, another reveal top card, but this card is swapping cards with your opponent. It's kind of weird. Yeah, these are the cards that are banned, and I'm not sure if there's anything else that has been updated more recently. I want to say the Goddess's Skull's Oracle might have been more recently updated. Again, this was a list that was shown off for some regions, and again, EU might have a different list. I'm not sure if they're considering this all TCG, and this is the official one, because again, Jack in the Hand was one that was different from different regions. Now, okay, so more importantly, the remote duel tournament policies. So all these can receive you infractions or penalties, which means you can either be banned, you can get a game loss, you can get a match loss, all those different things. So disconnection, that's fine. If a duelist gets disconnected, they will receive a game loss. Okay, that kind of sucks. So rip people that have bad internet. Frozen video. If a duelist video feed becomes disrupted or frozen, like I said, I mentioned before, when you basically screen cap, it's really hard to tell, especially if you're just holding basically perfectly still anyways. They'll receive a game loss. Is a procedural error, major infraction. This is not the same as a temporary lag, but temporary lag, you still swap cards in and out like the anime, they'd be cheating too. If a duelist streams or broadcasts an ongoing match that has prohibited streaming. So, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, so you couldn't get like help from other players. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, you'd figure if they were streaming, they wouldn't cheat anyways. Why, I don't know. And there's always a delay on the stream anyways. The duelist inadvertently reveals contents to their hand, they will receive a warning. Okay, it can be repeated, so you get a minor infraction for that. And having clothing with offensive images or language on camera. That's kind of weird, but at the same time, I know for like some games, like when you're playing at like tournament, like you have to wear a specific thing. I think that's relatively fine, but like I know everyone loves those Higa, like anime girls, right? And those card boxes. I remember those apparently got banned from some tournaments as well. Whatever. Rip those, man. Press F to pay respects for the Higal. If a duelist playing with a poor field that is poorly lit, so like basically bad lighting, or maybe something to do with clutter, too many like anime figures in the background, maybe. Not properly dressed. Okay, this is what I want to see. If a duelist is not properly dressed, shirts, pants, shorts, skirts must be worn. They will receive a warning and required to correct the situation. This is an unsporting conduct minor. Infraction can be upgraded if duelist repeats this infraction, tardiness, or slow plays. Slow play because of clothes? Okay, okay, someone please comment down below. What happened? What made them say you have to wear pants in a remote duel? Like, did someone... like I said, what got shown to we're like, okay, you have to wear pants. Something had to have happened, right? I don't know. Not keeping hands. Okay, so if a duelist does not keep their hands or cards in game-related actions in view of the camera, it's a minor infraction. Outside of interference, if duelist receives outside interference in a match, they receive unsporting contact. The severity will determine it. Okay, it could lead to disqualification. There is so including cards forbidden in remote duel. Who is that dumb to play ban cards in a remote duel? Like, why is this updated for remote duels? Because this is all about remote duels, right? I guess this is maybe regular as well, but what the heck? Why is that? And then like this is a minor infraction, and they must remove the forbidden cards. And if it results in a legal deck less than 40 cards, they have to change cards from their side deck to their main deck. Okay, there's card before the event has started. Duelist receives a game loss. Wait. After the event is started and they're playing ban cards, then they get a major infraction. They get a game loss, which is like normal if you play a ban card. But like, I feel like people that like usually are playing remote duels are pretty much up to date with the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh duels. Okay, so I feel like you know, like you guys memeing on it too hard. I really feel like some of the rules, like the most weird one is the shirt one, and like, you know, again, banning a lot of these cards, it does make sense for remote duels. But I figured I'd update you guys on it, and I'll leave it down below in case any of you guys want to read the full entire list. I'll pin it for all the things, as I didn't read every single thing word by word, but I just wanted to go over and give you guys a short little update on it. Most of the stuff is pretty generic, and I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, but as long as there is an official, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh rule update, I will give it to you guys, because some of the stuff might be interesting. But if there is anything interesting that you guys felt like I missed out on, let me know down below. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the vid. If you enjoyed it, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh rules, I'll update you guys regardless of how weird the Yu-Gi-Oh rule is. Like there was one for smelling Yu-Gi-Oh players. I'm not kidding. That's in the official rule books. You can't smell bad when you play Yu-Gi-Oh. But if you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff in the future, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and I'll definitely see more. But take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.